This is a telephone kiosk. Most of the payphones in London are inside a telephone kiosk, which means that you get some privacy when you're talking on the phone. Sadly, they don't seem to be installing them anymore, partially because of a decline in usage, and also partially because of drunk people seem to like urinating in them. And here are these are in the news lately. These are the LGBT pedestrian traffic lights that are in the news recently. They're very controversial. That is the Boris bus. It's one of the newest double-decker buses in London. There's like an older one, I think a Claxton Pointer. And double-decker buses, we've had them for longer than the continent have had bendy buses. There's another really new double-decker bus that is an Enviro 400 MMC. And we've had double-decker buses for a very long time, and we used to also have double-decker trams, but nearly all the tram networks in Britain closed down in the 1950s and 60s, and so the market for them disappeared because Britain was the only country which had double-decker trams. So the market for them disappeared, and so they no longer make them. And these are our telephone kiosks, and these are completely normal in the UK. Why does this telephone kiosk have a keyboard? Send emails. I've discovered that experimental telephone! Wow! You can send an email from this telephone. Costs money though. Back. How do you... that doesn't reset it. There's no coin return button. I can't make this reset. That was the experimental kiosk that they had in the 90s where you could send emails from. Charing Cross has a horseshoe-shaped subway. There's shops in it, and it's not very busy, even though in a really busy area. All the tourists seem to avoid this subway. I don't know why, maybe because it smells of alcohol. This subway always smells of drugs and alcohol because people come here and they take drugs and alcohol. And it's a very confusing subway. There's like an exit there, you have to go on there, and another one there. It's really difficult to navigate this subway. These are our taxis in London. The taxis in helicopter. The taxis in London have a rather old looking shape, even though these are actually really new. And the reason why they have such an old looking shape is because the reason why they have an old looking shape is because there's the company that made the taxis before made the same design of taxi for a very long time, and it was so long, and at the start it was like a normal design, but then by the time they stopped making it, it had actually become the actual shape had become associated with taxis. That's why taxis look like that. But some taxis, like that one, are just these horrid, boring Mercedes taxis. And I don't like them.
Nah, that's small. I tell you what, it's small.
This this is a station that's just been rebuilt, and it's something that you don't really see much in London because it's so ridiculously clean. This is what I like to call a very un-British payphone. You don't get any privacy. I hate how they're installing these in London. It's like a tradition here that payphones are meant to have privacy. I hate how they have these. These are like American, French payphones. You don't get any privacy. So then the maps here have something I've never seen before, which are backlights. They are backlights, and the thing is, these are sort of a waste of electricity, although they do have LEDs, so it's not that bad. I mean, the light bulbs themselves don't consume much energy, they're LEDs, and they're not that bright LEDs. And so then, but then what I would do to save even more energy, have the backlight go off normally. It would be on a timer, so after the timer it would go off, and then make the screen so that basically the screen could detect when you touched it. It wouldn't be able to detect where you touched it. It wouldn't be a proper touch screen, just that you touched it. So you'd touch it anywhere and it would light up. And there might be something. Touch the screen to activate backlight. And perhaps even better is if they made this is a really futuristic idea. If they made it so you could select where you wanted to go from and to, so you could touch one station and another station. So basically what it would do is you would touch here and it would show you how to get from this station to there. And then if you touch another station, it shows you how to get from there to there. And although then that would need a proper screen, which might be a bit of a waste of electricity. And so then it would also show you the price of a single ticket valid now to go between those two stations that you'd selected. It would show you the price. I'm having some really good ideas. I had another idea. Also, this would be really good for me if you wanted to go on a specific route from one station to another station. So you wanted to go, let's say you wanted to go from Aldershot to Wimbledon, but you wanted to go via Guildford. You could select to go down here and then up to Wimbledon. So you could select a specific route and it would then show you the price. It would show you the lowest price of tickets valid for that route. The lowest price that you can pay and not get prosecuted for. I am in a tubular underground train. These trains are designed to go in the London Underground tunnels, which were built rather cheaply.
The next station is South Wimbledon. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
They built the tunnels really tiny tunnels. This is a typical residential area in London. It's arranged around public transport. In most areas the road through the middle, the main road isn't as busy as this one. But in most respects this is kind of a rather typical residential area. These are typical sort of houses that people in the UK live in. The average time for a house in the UK to be constructed is something around 1900. And a lot of the houses in the UK are stuck together. it's not really known whether this is considered to be it's not really known, there's no general consensus of whether this is really considered to be one building or separate buildings. Technically it's one building, but socially it's kind of considered to be separate buildings. It's really hot now in the UK, and I've got a bottle of orangeade, and oh look, it's empty. I finished my orangeade, and now where should I go to refill it? It can be very hard to find a place to refill your water in the UK. There are two places where you'll often be able to refill your water, and they seem quite random. They are the kind of three places where you're likely to be able to refill your water. They seem quite random, and they are car dealerships, doctor's surgeries and banks. You can nearly always refill your water at a car dealership, doctor's surgery or bank. And here I am. I found a car dealership where I'm probably going to be able to refill my water, and it's closed. In the United Kingdom, it can often be easier to get Coca-Cola, a drink which has to be manufactured far away, than water.